Jazakallah. Now we will proceed with the welcome remarks by President IPRI, Ambassador Dr. Raza Muhammad. Ambassador Dr. Raza Muhammad has held various prestigious command and staff assignments. He has served as an additional secretary in the Ministry of Defense Production. After retirement, Dr. Raza was appointed Ambassador of Pakistan to Mauritius, Madagascar, Seychelles, and Comoros. He has been the executive director of services in the Army Welfare Trust, and he has also served as an advisor to the President National Defense University, Islamabad. I would request President IPRI Ambassador Dr. Raza to come on the stage and deliver his welcome remarks.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. All praises to Allah the Almighty, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Salam be upon Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, humanity, you all who sit here, and our country. Azhar Ziaur Rahman Sahab, esteemed guest, chief guest, thank you so much for honoring us. Thank you so much for accepting this invitation and coming here to talk to us on this book, but not only on this book, your life's experiences related to technology, related to the technological revolution, technological governance, and also related to the Society 5.0. Actually, you asked me this question, do you know anything about Society 5.0? I didn't know it, actually. Very frankly, I didn't know it. Before I started studying his book's title and tried to explore the internet, that what is technological revolution or 4.0 industrial revolution, and what is the Society 5.0. So only then I came to know that what we are going to talk today, that is about the technologies in Industry 4.0 and Society 5.0, was given as concept by two different people in 2016. The concept of the technologies in industry was given by Mr. Schwabe, and the concept of Society 5.0 was given and adopted by the Japanese government in 2016 officially. And the concept related to making the society smarter and efficient and also more comprehensive when it comes to facilitating the human life. So it encompassed a lot when it comes to the technology 4.0. It encompasses Internet of the Things, AI, big data, robotics, cloud computing, and augmented reality. He will be talking more to us about it, visual reality, 3D printing, and blockchain. Actually, all these things have been invented by man. I was talking to him, but of course, ordained by Allah the Almighty for facilitating human life on this planet. And similarly, the Society 5.0, I was going through it, that it was adopted in 2016, and the Japanese government wanted to make it more efficient society and making use of all the technologies, combining the industrial efficiency, combining the latest developments in the AI and all to make the life more comfortable. Basically, they want to transform the way of life. Now, how to apply this here in Pakistan, that is more important. Because we are not that advanced when it comes to the application of technology on the society. There are islands of excellences here in Pakistan also. There are departments, there are companies, there are people who know it, who are applying it, who are using it. But at national level, तो अभी हमारा, very sorry to say, safe city camera ही काम नहीं करते. I had encountered a situation when someone approached me. There was a girl who left the school and didn't come back home from Rawalpindi. So they approached me. I tried my level best with all the agency, and it was so sad to know that our safe city cameras were not working. So somewhere you could track her, trace her, and somewhere you could not. It took quite a lot of time. and she ultimately came from a society near ये चकलाला के पीछे जो area में societies हैं वहाँ पे कोई अफगानी इसके पास है. But it was saddening to know that despite all this big bang about the facial recognition that we have, safe city cameras that we have in Islamabad, in Karachi में हर रोज़ बात हो रही है, अभी तक लगे नहीं हैं, but लगाने के बावजूद भी वो काम नहीं कर रहे हैं. तो I hope that we can adopt all these. Second, he spoke to me when he was sitting with us in the lounge that he had worked a lot in the UAE in Abu Dhabi. I will not take the thunder out of his speech. I would like him to actually talk to you people that what he has really done. And second thing he spoke to us was about Think and Do organization. What is that going to do? I will not speak again about that because that will be again taking the thunder out of your expected speech. So I would request you to delve on that as well. And how can Think and Do be facilitated by us, and how can that help in the society of Pakistan? Thank you so much for being with us, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, especially thank you, ma'am, for being here, and your son, who came all the way from England, all the esteemed guests. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Shukriya, President. Now we will move on to hear from our honorable guest, Azhar Ziaur Rahman. Before calling him on the rostrum, please allow me to introduce him. Azhar Ziaur Rahman is an electronics engineer by qualification and a distinguished professional by training and experience. With multiple master's degrees in engineering and numerous certifications across diverse fields, Mr. Azhar brings 46 years of extensive experience spanning over 20 countries and at least 15 domains. He has led and contributed to various government committees and served as a member of the advisory team to President Dr. Arif Alvi. An accomplished author, Mr. Azhar has written multiple books, including 2 on technology governance. I would request the honorable guest to please take the podium. Thank you.
Can I have the remote for the slides? Slides Ambassador Raza, ladies and gentlemen, it's certainly an honor being here and talking about my book. This book is the second in a series of books on technology governance. Technology governance is a term that I coined about 8 years ago, and this is the second book on this topic. Why did I have to write this book? The reason was that I have been in technology, and in every organization has got multiple technologies. There's no organization, however small it is, which does not use at least 7 or 8 technologies. But those technologies are used in silos. The real benefit of those technologies can be attained only if they are used in synergy with each other. And that is not done. That's why I had to coin the term of governance of technologies or technology governance. How do I run it? Okay. Okay, this is the book. The manuscript of this was vetted by Dr. Arif Alvi, and he gave his comments, which you can see here at the back of the book. He gave some suggestions as well, and I incorporated those suggestions in this book. The foreword, I was lucky, the foreword was written by His Excellency Dr. Muhammad Al-Kuwaiti, who is the head of cybersecurity in UAE, and he's one of the most powerful people because he heads all the automation projects in entire UAE. So he was kind enough to write the foreword for this book, and this is very significant. This book has got 23 chapters, 100% written by me, nothing copied from anywhere, no idea taken from anywhere, all are original ideas. And because of that, I had to invent certain terms. I had to invent certain concepts, which are 100% my own concepts. I could not find any definition of technology. So I had to coin a definition of technology. When you talk of technology, we think technology is electronics, technology is computers, technology is phones. No, it's not. Technology is the collection of knowledge, techniques, methods or processes used in the conception, design, development, production, or utilization of goods, skills, or services. Why? To accomplish objectives. So a person in the supermarket who is selling bananas is also using at least 10 technologies. He doesn't know that. We don't know that. But he is also using at least 10 technologies. He is using them in synergy, and that is why he's doing so well. That's why he's selling. Businesses fail because they don't use those technologies in synergy. So that's technology. What is industry? I could not find a good definition of industry, so I had to define industry. Industry means any economic activity that results in the rendering of services that use data consciously as one of the inputs. So this is the definition of industry in the context of the fourth industrial revolution. Now let me explain what is the fourth industrial revolution. The first industrial revolution was when we invented the steam engine. So we moved from horses or from animals to machines. That was the first industrial revolution. That was, I think, about 150 years ago, 160 years ago. The second industrial revolution came in 1905 with the internal combustion engine. When Henry Ford brought the Model T, that was the second industrial revolution. So that moved us from the steam engine to the internal combustion engine. The third industrial revolution came in the 1960s when electronics came up and we had computers, we had automation. So that was the third industrial revolution. Now, after the third industrial revolution, a lot of technologies got developed, not only in electronics, but also in biology, also in every domain. We had hundreds of technologies which were being used in silos. And that was not the best way of using technologies. So the fourth industrial revolution came about 10 years ago. The purpose of this revolution was to use the technologies in synergy with good governance. So the fourth industrial revolution is not about technology. It is about good governance, and how can you use your resources in the best way with synergies so that you can make the best out of those resources. So that's the fourth industrial revolution. Now, what is Society 5.0? It is a society that is sustainable and resilient against threats and unpredictable, uncertain situations. Now, we had a lot of technology, but that technology was being used against the humans. The government of Japan had multiple problems. One of them was that they had all the technology that they could ever imagine to have, but their population was declining. So they had to make best use of technology to benefit the population. And that brought the concept of Society 5.0 about 9 years ago. Now it is the official policy of the government of Japan to direct everything towards Society 5.0. So these are some of the basic concepts that I had in my book. I also had to invent the concept of streams of technology. There are 3 streams of technology. The first one is the industrial technology. That's the technology which lies at the heart of any organization. It can be a hospital, it can be a research institute, it can be government. For example, take the example of the person selling bananas in supermarket, or the selling of bananas in Carrefour. Both of them use the same industrial technology for selling bananas. But the difference is in their business technology. Carrefour is big. They're using business technologies to do the same job better. And the third stream is information technology. The person in the supermarket selling bananas is also using all 3 of them, but on a different scale. So all 3 technologies are used by everybody who does any business. So that's the concept of the streams of technology. Now, these 3 concepts also invented by me. What is the speed of technology? Speed of technology is the frequency with which the technologies related to an enterprise transform. And you have to keep up with that change of the speed of technology, and that is the speed of business. Your business should change with the speed of technology. If you don't, you close down. You lose. And the third, the speed of technology and speed of business. That's not enough. You've got to have a speed of governance. The way in which your governance changes, the way in which your governance improves, has to match with the speed of technology and the speed of business. And this is, when this does not happen, you get into problems. Your business closes down. So the governance is very important to keep up with the speed of technology and the speed of business. So that brings us to technology governance. What is technology governance? It is the system by which current and future use of technology is directed, overseen, and held accountable over the long term. So you've got to know which technologies are you using, and you've got to direct the use of technologies. You have to oversee the use of technologies and be accountable for the use of technologies. And that brings us to, the accountability brings us to, for example, AI. AI is inevitable, but AI has got risks. AI has got dangers. So the accountability of the use of AI is very important. We may talk about that later. Now, these are the processes. There are 7 processes of AI, of technology governance, which have to be implemented in any organization. Now, everybody talks of transformation. Everybody talks of information. But what is information? Information starts with data. Now, data is transformed into information. Information is transformed into knowledge. And knowledge is transformed into wisdom. And wisdom becomes collective wisdom if you've got more than one people contributing to wisdom. So this is the chain which has to be developed in every organization if you want to really make use of the knowledge that you have in the organization. Now, what is data governance? The students these days, everybody is going towards big data. Everybody is going towards data analysis without understanding what lies behind that. I've talked to a lot of universities here. Everybody is teaching big data. Everybody is teaching data analysis. Everybody is teaching AI. But what lies beneath that, nobody is teaching. What lies beneath that is, the first thing is organizational context. What you must know what the context of the organization is. What is the outside and what is the inside of that organization? What is the mission and vision of the organization? That has to be documented, which is done normally. The next thing which has to be defined is the value chain. What is the value chain of the organization? What do they take and how do they process and what do they throw out? So that has to be defined formally. What are the objectives of the organization? Then you have to discover what data is created in the organization. This is not done anywhere. So you have to discover what data you have, and you have to identify what data you have. Unless you do that, you cannot have AI. You cannot have governance because you don't know what data you have. So these two things are very important. Based on the data that you've discovered and the data that you've identified, you have to create the data architecture. 2 years ago, I was given a project by the government of Abu Dhabi for creating the data architecture of agriculture. I don't know what agriculture is. So I started looking around. Even the FAO does not know, does not have a data architecture. They've created the SDGs related to agriculture, but that is not based on a data architecture. And that this was pathetic. So I had to study, and I came to universities in Pakistan and abroad, and I could not find a single university in the Gulf and in Pakistan which teaches data architecture. So I had to study agriculture. I did it for 6 months, and I created the data architecture for the Abu Dhabi government. So data architecture has to be there for every organization, and this differs between organizations. 2 similar organizations, both of them doing the same thing, will have different data architectures. Now, once you've got the data architecture, you have to have data classification, which defines how critical that data is. It has to be secret, or it has to be what level of classification you give it. You have to describe the data, and every bit of data has to be owned by somebody. There has to be data stewardship. What's called data stewardship is the person who looks after the data, who sits on that data. And then the data quality has to be defined, and data provenance. Data provenance is how did that data get here? Through what paths did it go? And what kind of manipulation was done to that data as it came to us? That is very important. Then there are 3 types of data which are there in every organization. One is the master data, which is critical to that organization. Then you've got reference data, which you refer to, you don't change. And third one is synthetic data. You create that synthetic data to enhance your data so that you can do analysis. All of this data is put in data warehouses where you can do business analysis and you can do analytics. Now, one very important aspect of data is privacy. All of my data and your data is there with everybody. Whenever you use your telephone, you expose yourself. So data privacy is very important. We don't still have a law on data privacy in Pakistan, and that is why we don't get a lot of orders from abroad, because we don't safeguard the data of coming from outside. So data privacy is very important. Next is information security, cyber security. How do we ensure the security of the data that we have? Then, of course, the data used in sharing. Unless you've got all of this in place, you cannot use AI. If you do use AI without this in place, you're in big danger. And that is one of the lessons that the governments don't learn. Okay, that brings us to ethics. The governance of ethics. This is a complete chapter that I have. How do you govern ethics? Ethics is very popular these days, but the governance of ethics, nobody's talking about the governance of ethics. People are talking about governance of AI, but not about the governance of ethics. My next book, inshallah, coming next month, is about the maturity of AI ethics. And in that, I talk about how to govern ethics. So this is another concept that I've introduced. Okay, now coming to the fourth industrial revolution, how do you enter the fourth industrial revolution? Whatever organization you are, small or big, technical or non-technical, these are the 5 things which I call Pentrium. This is my own term. You got to have these 5 things in your organization. The first one is good governance. Anybody at any level must know what is happening under him without asking anybody. So that is good governance. Then you must have quality of everything that you do. The third thing is agility. You must be able to change very fast with the changing requirements, the speed of business and the speed of technology and the speed of governance. That defines agility. That with what speed should you be able to change yourself? The fourth thing is vertical integration. Integration of all your processes within the organization. That's called vertical integration. And the last one is called horizontal integration. Integration of your processes on your supply side and on your supplied side. So the companies which supply you and those which supply your suppliers, they should be integrated. And your customers and your customers' customers should be integrated. So this whole chain is called horizontal integration. So these are the 5 things that you must have to be successful in the fourth industrial revolution. Transformation. Everybody talks of digital transformation, especially these consulting companies. They want to make money, and they've coined a term, digital transformation. What is digital transformation? Digital transformation is just a big buzzword, which is a very small aspect of transformation. You start from digitization. Digitization is what? Digitization is making a document or making a artifact computable. And this artifact is not computable unless you digitize it. And then there are levels of digitization, which I've explained in my book. The digitization is not much useful unless you do digitalization. Digitalization is the automation of processes based on digitization. Digital transformation is the integration of those automated processes. But this is not enough. You've got to go one step beyond, and there's no term for it. So I had to invent a term which is called digiformation, which is digital transformation in the fourth industrial revolution. That's my own term. So these are the 4 levels of transformation which should be there, but the consultants talk only of digital transformation because that brings in money to them. So digiformation is something beyond transformation. You've transformed your organization, but that's not enough. You've got to go beyond your organization to transform your supplier side and your supplied side. The next concept that I have to invent was transform to what? Okay, you'll transform, but transform to what? you transform to a framework, which I called framework for the fourth industrial revolution. So it's a very detailed framework which defines what do you have to transform to. You are here, you have to go where. So that is defined by something called framework. We will discuss that. These are the 7 parts of the framework. You've got the stakeholders, then you've got the systems and processes, then you've got applications, data, risks, and assets. So these are the 7 aspects of the framework which have to be defined for your organization, whatever organization you have, big or small. So this is a detailed view of framework adopted in a project of mine in Oman Education. They've got, they manage schools, and this is how they manage the schools. At the top, you've got governance. The top green box deals with governance. So all those systems and processes deal with governance in an organization. The next box is general management. The third one is technology governance. If you come to the bottom, it's infrastructure management, monitoring and measuring, and continual improvement. So these are the 6 boxes which deal with any organization, big or small. The one at the center deals with that particular industry. If it is education, it has to change for education. So this is what I did for the government of Oman for transforming their education. This is the same framework for power distribution. This was used. This I used for Dubai Electricity and Water Authority, and this is how we transformed Dubai Electricity and Water Authority about 7 years ago. This is the same one for Dubai Health. This we used during the COVID. How to transform this? This is called AFIA. This is what we used to transform the health system in Abu Dhabi, in UAE. This is the same framework for oil and gas. This is what I used to transform ADNOC, which is probably the 3rd or 4th largest oil company in the world. So this is how we transformed using the very same framework. So what I've written in my book is not theory. It is practiced, proven, and implemented, not in one industry, but in many industries. I've got many other examples, so I've just taken some. This is for education. This is for higher education. These are the standards for higher education. So if you see the top 3 are the same, the bottom 3 are the same, the center one, the one in yellow, is what keeps on changing with the industry. So this is the concept. This is for construction. Now construction is becoming very modern. There's a revolution in construction in the last 10 years, starting from England, and now they've got standards for construction, which unfortunately Pakistan Engineering Council doesn't know of. It's a pathetic organization which doesn't know of what is happening in engineering around the world. So this is what we implemented in Saudi Arabia. This is what is being used in their big project. What is it called? NEOM, yes. So this is what is being used in NEOM. This is what I designed with Justice Mansoor, based on his speeches. The same concept for the judiciary. Unfortunately, he could not become a Chief Justice, otherwise he would have taken this forward and implemented this in the Supreme Court and the judiciary of Pakistan. Now, the next question is how to do it. What is the methodology for transformation? And this is the methodology, and I call it the transformation continuum. It has got 16 steps, and I've defined in the book each of these steps in detail, what to do, how to do, and what to create in this continuum. Now, the big question which Ambassador Raza raised, how to bring this to Pakistan? Very difficult question. What happened last week, ChatGPT was taken over or was surpassed by two Chinese systems using lesser technology, using a smaller budget. What does that prove to us? That proves to us that we, although we've not gone through the first, or the second, third, and fourth revolutions, industrial revolutions, we can still catch up. With a very small budget, with the lot of technology that we have, with a lot of expertise that we have, a lot of knowledge that we have, we can still catch up. And that's a very big lesson that we should learn that even we can catch up. So how to bring it to Pakistan? This is what we are guilty of, or what we do. We are scared of Aine No. And this is the only reason why we cannot progress, that we are scared of change. We are scared, we are stuck up with the past. But there's a solution to it. And the solution is this. This is what we have to do. So the Iqbal gave us the problem and he gave us the solution. Now, how do we implement this solution? To go from Tarz-e-Kohan to Aine No, we've got the methodology that I've presented, which is called digiformation. So using that methodology, you can move from Tarz-e-Kohan to Aine No. How? Now, this is something very common, which is said very commonly. Everybody wants to change, but everybody wants change, but nobody wants to change. Why do people don't want change? Why? Tarz-e-Kohan पे कौन अड़ा हुआ है? और क्यों अड़ा हुआ है? We have to see that, and they have a very good reason for it. Who is scared? Why is he or she scared? Does he think, what's in it for me? What if I don't change? So these are the questions that have to be told to the people. कि अगर आप change नहीं करेंगे, you'll be out. And this is happening. What is happening in the USA? They've created this office called DOGE. What is happening in DOGE? They're throwing out millions of bureaucrats. Why? Because they deserve to be thrown out. We need to do the same. But we've got political problems. There's a solution around it also. So we have to see who is scared and why is scared, and how to control this. Now, this brings us to IPRI. What can IPRI do in this regard? We need a governance framework for the government of Pakistan. And that I called Hakamiya. I worked on this with the UNDP, I think 7 years ago, and we created a governance framework for the government of Pakistan, but then the governments changed and nothing happened to it. So what we should have is a code of governance. Probably IPRI can work on this. And as part of the code of governance, we should have how to implement that code of governance, implementation guidelines, and we should have maturity assessment guidelines. जो implement किया है वो कितना अच्छा implement किया है, जो organization है, where does it stand, how to improve that organization. So we must have that the assessment. These are the two documents that I created 7 years ago, but because of the changes in government, nothing happened. A code of governance and the criteria for governance audit. This was 2018. Things have changed since then. This was based on British standards because there were no ISO standards then. Now we've got ISO standards, ISO 37000 and other. So probably IPRI can work using those standards and update the code of governance, and then update the guidelines for the implementation of the code of governance, and create the criteria for the assessment of the code of governance. And that would be a big service to Pakistan. That's what I had to say. Any questions that I can answer?
Thank you so much, sir. We stand educated today. Now the floor is open for question and answers. I would request the audience to please introduce themselves, and then please keep their comment or question brief so we can take maximum number of questions. After you? Okay.
I'm Dr. Zafar Qureshi, and I really enjoyed your talk. And you said, in the end, you quoted Allama Iqbal saying that nations are born in the minds of poets, and they prosper and die in the hands of politicians. And I was thinking that just now you said that ये जो आपने कहा है हुकूमत के लिए कि you came up with a thing 7 years ago. Do you think this country, being what it is, would be better off with artificial intelligence or without it? Because, like you gave the example of America, that many bureaucrats are losing their jobs, what would happen to people who are employed and they would be unemployed? What would happen to things which are already running so bad? Could they become worse by such things? Thank you.
Was the right-hand man of Dr. Khan. He is Pakistan's top fission scientist, and his book is taught around the world. So thank you very much. Very relevant question. We have to use AI. We cannot not use AI. The question is how to use AI and how to be safe from its risks and dangers. A lot is being done around the world. One of them is an effort on AI ethics. There was a conference last year in March or February in Rome, in which the 3 major religions participated, and they came up with a declaration about AI ethics. But that's not enough. Every organization, the UN came up with its own charter or resolution for AI ethics in March last year. European Union came up with a very detailed act on AI last year, again in March. Every government, and in the USA, every state is coming up with their own laws on AI ethics and AI governance. What we're doing in Pakistan, I am mentoring a Think and Do tank by the name of Society 5.0 Initiative. What we're doing is that we're bringing in talent from around the world. We've got people participating with us from around the world, top scholars, and we are interpreting Quran and Sunnah. From those, we are taking the AI ethics principles. In Pakistan also, we are going to every university, we are establishing an AI society in every university on the pattern of IEEE. Also what we're doing is that we are having we've got our own website. We are also publishing articles every day nearly. And we will be having an AI festival in April this year, in which we'll be bringing students, we'll be bringing scholars, we'll be bringing people from technology, people from management, people from governance, people from social sciences, from management sciences, and they'll sit together, they'll exchange views, they'll know each other, and they'll chart out the course for Pakistan in AI. But all this effort is international. So we hope to go abroad with this effort. My next book, hopefully to be published next month, is on the assessment of the maturity of AI ethics, which means that there's an organization or there's a system which wants to be assessed on how mature they are on AI ethics. They'll be able to use the principle laid out in my book. Based on that book, we'll be establishing a certification body which will certify organization. I don't know if my team is here from that think tank. If they are, they can talk to. So this is what is to be done. So in Pakistan, we cannot choose. We have to go for AI, but very carefully and mitigate the risks that are with AI. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Aziz Bangish from PIMS Hospital, working as a director. Currently, we are working on one patient, one ID. We are making a paperless. So that you can help us how to promote it, because there are certain problems. We are working with the Ministry of Information Technology. Second, how we can use AI in our health system. That is important, but how?
You said one patient, one?
ID.
Okay, yeah, okay. I know the
So
project.
third, I mean, we are having some workshops on robotic surgery, but it is not properly understood by the doctors how to go through. So would like if you can see something, you can guide us, we will implement it.
But this project was done in Abu Dhabi and UAE, I think about 15 years ago. And I've seen the pains that are caused because of this. See, the problem in your project is that you've entrusted that to IT. And whenever, and this is the established fact that whenever you entrust a transformation project to IT, it fails. You've seen so many examples. IT people are technicians. They are supposed to do what you ask them to do. But you are the brain. It is your project, your problem. You have to give the solution. They can only implement it. So you have to start, as I said in that circle, you have to start with those 15 steps. If you don't do that, you'll not succeed. The first thing you have to do is to have your stakeholders. Who are your stakeholders? Inside, outside, everybody. Starting from the patient, starting from the government, all of those. And then you have to have the data architecture, which is not being done. Unless you've got the data architecture, your project will not take off. And this is not being done. I can answer you in detail later on, but this is in brief.
Yeah, I'm Salim Ansari from Pakistan Atomic Energy Commission. My question is about AI. I don't know whether you know that the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists, they have devised a doomsday clock. And every year they set the time on this clock, which means that at 12 at night, the world would meet the doomsday. Last week they had set this clock only 59 seconds away from 12, and they had narrated 3 reasons for this, and this is the closest the world is towards doomsday. They have given 3 reasons. One is the nuclear threats, of course, between Russia and the USA. The second is the climatic, these apocalyptic climate change. And the third is the adverse use of artificial intelligence. There is a feeling that in the things which are related to the existential matters, for instance, there are still more than over 4,000 nuclear weapons in the world. And the doomsday scenario would be that some AI algorithm might cause the trigger of these hydrogen bombs, hundreds of megatons of hydrogen bombs. And then another thing is that, as you said, that in 1960s there was the advent of computer technology. But at the same time, in 1985 in Hamburg, the Computer Chaos Club was formed, and it created a real terror among the Western world because they started hacking the big banks, the organizations, and of course the nuclear matters. So I think we still have to be very careful in the use of artificial intelligence in the existential matters. Thank you.
Yeah, a brand new domain has emerged in the last 3 or 4 months, and that is called AI audit. Now, what is AI audit? There are 2 things which are critical in AI. The first is data, the data on which your decision making is based on, right? That's the first thing. How is that data collected? How is that data massaged? How is that data used? And the second thing is the algorithm. How do you use that data? How do you process that data to make decisions? Now, these 2 things have to be very carefully audited. And this brand new field has just come up in the last few months. Hopefully it will do something to manage the misuse of AI.
One of Pakistan's most successful examples of Industry 4.0 is probably the Rast IT because it has good process and management systems. So my question to you is, what good is AI if the underlying processes are flawed?
Yes, good question. AI is a risk if the underlying processes are flawed. That's right, and that's why we have got this new field of AI audit, that we have to audit the data and the algorithm and how that algorithm is used on that data. That's how it is.
Shiraz.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. This is Shiraz. I'm research associate here. My question is very basic that how can you indulge the society 5.0 in Pakistan before even first addressing the society 4.0? We are still in the digitalization age. We are not even that capable of doing that AI thing in Pakistan at the moment. Thank you.
Yes, we can jump. We've got this people, we've got the skills, we've got the resources. We can do it if we've got the right planning and we've got the right right roadmap. We can still catch up, but it is difficult. Yes, you're right, it is difficult, but we can still catch up.
Sir, I'm Qasim. I need to ask a question maybe related to governance of technology with the social media. Social media, uncontrollable social media and fake news. So, have you suggested measures how this will affect our governance and how to address this issue?
Yeah, social media is a domain where you use many technologies, and whoever uses these technologies with synergy succeeds. One of the ways is to have laws, but how to implement those laws, how to not misuse the laws, that's the challenge, and that is not a technology issue, that's a social issue, which is beyond technology governance. It's a social issue, not a technology issue.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. I'm Nageen Ashraf and I'm a research assistant here at IPRI. Sir, my question is that, as you rightly mentioned, AI, Pakistan needs AI to progress, right? But my question is regarding internet disruptions that we often face nowadays in the name of regulating social media. So how do you think such disruptions can affect Pakistan in general? Thank you, sir.
With no AI or with no internet, or even with weak internet, you cannot have society 5.0, industry 4.0. It's not possible. So we have to have good internet. That's the basic necessity.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mia Asim Qayyum. I'm an ex-deputy director from Securities and Exchange Commission of Pakistan, and I'm a certified corporate trainer. Azhar bhai, I would like to ask you that there are a lot many people who want to do something for Pakistan and they have their own ideas, like you have your term, whatever, for METIC, Digi formation and all. So you've got a very good platform, like Think and Do Tank. So is this open for other people to join in and be of resource for this think tank or no? Because I've seen many people who want to do something for Pakistan, they have their own ideas and they don't mature it over the period of last maybe 30 years. That's why I'm saying they can't mature it.
Yes, this Think and Do tank called the Society 5 Initiative is open for all. I can introduce you to the people who are running it, and you can certainly participate. That will be very welcome.
Thank you so much, sir, for your edifying answers. Now I would request President IPRI Ambassador Dr. Raza to deliver his vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, Professor. Very grateful to you. You must have wondered why there are not so many questions as you were expecting, because we are all, I think, not very well-versed what you are talking about. Our interest would increase when you're here. Our interest would increase जब आप कहते हैं think and do जो है उसके ऊपर हम काम शुरू करेंगे. But there are 2-3 things I would like you to maybe comment or maybe say something. First of all, there's a great fear, as you were saying, the risks of the AI. The risks of AI or the fears. Risk is that sometimes people say the machines may start talking to each other and take over, right? And especially when it comes to what the gentleman from SPD was saying, that let's say if some nuclear accident happens, because everything is automated nowadays, for example, number two, or some robots take over a industry and they start doing things which they are not supposed to do. So this is one of the risks. The other danger, or what was highlighted by your colleague, was will the AI or the robots take human beings' places and there will be lesser jobs. I think it is important to understand. I think, in my opinion, as a layman person, the jobs would reduce for those people who are not well versed in the AI, in technology, and these areas. Those who are, so to say, illiterate in this, whether they have done metric, FA, BA, or whatever, but so to say, they are illiterate in this thing. But if they are educated in this, they are skilled, so I don't think that they are going to lose the job. So this is one thing which I would like to actually you to say a few words again on it before we end the session. Second is about the papers you did with the government, last government on the governance, that is Hakamiya, if I am not wrong. Hakamiya. और दूसरा जो था अदलनामा. तो क्या वो पब्लिश नहीं हो सकते अभी कि you have published the books and could you not publish those, or
We can-
if there are no intellectual property issues? Right.
We can enhance it and publish it from IPRI. That's what we do.
We would love to publish it with your name, of course, from IPRI. Joint एक हम इसके ऊपर काम कर सकते हैं. If they are useful and you have worked so much, so why should they go waste actually? If Mansoor Saab did not become a Chief Justice, maybe someone else can make use of it. And similarly about the governance. Last point is about the RI vis-a-vis AI. I always say, as I was saying, that real intelligence did exist, is existing, and is the sole domain of the Allah the Almighty. And He gave part of it or transferred it to human being. And real intelligence has created the artificial intelligence. That is why it is called artificial intelligence. I think down the line, never ever will the artificial intelligence be able to beat the real intelligence, that is the human being who was created by the God. So these are few words, sir. With this, I thank you. And if you want to say a few more words on these or respond to these, you're most welcome.
The future of work. The future of work is a challenge. The nature of work will change, but I don't think the number of jobs will go down. The nature of jobs will change from here to here, but probably the number of jobs will increase. So people have to unlearn and relearn to sustain themselves.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Raza. Now I would request Dr. Raza to again come on stage and present mementos for honorable guests.
अकेले भी लेना आप लोग.
Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the conclusion of today's proceedings. I thank you all again